What version are we at now on the Joint Conference Committee number 1, episode 32? Great to see everybody. So continues to be work overnight, and in fact into the night by several members on this committee and with colleagues on the floor trying to get to some different places. So Mr. Swank, let's start in the northeast or north part of the state. Let's start in Sheridan-Johnson County, and I think you might have Senator Kinski. Do you want to describe which one, or maybe first, Mr. Swank, describe which one this is, because I can't see the header on the map. Who submitted this? Is Kinski 1? Is it?
Mr. Chairman, this is the amendment submitted by Senator Kinski for Sheridan-Johnson that the committee reviewed yesterday and the day before.
Okay.
I believe there may be additional ones out there, but I'm not sure which ones Senator Kinski would like to go through.
Please, Senator.
Michael, is this the one that we put to bed at 7:30 last night?
No, this is the original one. Would you like to look at the other one?
Yeah, let's pop that one.
That's the one we need to look at.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted,
okay.
I didn't, that's why I was asking which
Okay.
one it was. All right, Senator Kinski, you want to just kind of tell us what the changes were between the previous one and this one?
Okay, this is different in two respects, and this is the plan that was vetted by the city clerk. It's different, and correct me if I'm wrong, Michael. First, we give all of Prairie Dog to Jennings.
Maybe we should refer it by a House district name.
I don't know the numbers.
That House district, how's that? Yeah. That's okay, it's okay. That House district is all of Prairie Dog, which is a unique community in Sheridan County. That's okay.
Okay, hang on a minute here.
You have to go to the legend on the side.
Right.
And correspond with the German.
No, that's okay. I just.
Yeah.
Story to Beitman. And then what I did is I found enough rural lives leading right up to the edge of the city of Sheridan. There, it's unincorporated areas on either side of the interstate. And so we're not creating any, I don't think we're creating any splits. I'll have to talk to the clerk. We got this done so late last night, I haven't talked to the clerk. And then also up north, we ran Crago as far west as we could. We don't pick up a whole lot of lives doing that. We could still run Crago further west, and I think we determined we got 20 people or something.
Mr. Chairman, I believe in a prior iteration of this piece right here that I'm showing is one voting district is about 200 people.
Well, that every little bit helps, but
actually that district 40, which I believe is that's actually the lowest or the highest lowest in deviation. I mean, it's at 4 and the rest are at 6. Is that accurate? Mr.
Chairman, correct. All three of the districts are over 5%. That would be House District 51 on the western side, House District 30, which is this middle piece that took Prairie Dog, and then House District 29, which is the city of Sheridan. In this particular version, House District 40 is actually in deviation at 3.74.
Well done.
Thank you.
You got 1 out of 4. Can you get the other 3?
So, and Mr. Speaker, you just mentioned to me something about the clerk indicating something was out of whack, and so I'm going to have to get on the phone with her. She's on vacation, and she was still taking my calls at 9 o'clock last night. So.
Okay. All right. So would you, Mr. Swank, would you pull up the Senate plan for Sheridan County as it came out of the Senate? What did it look like? Okay, so clearly Story is in the 40 district. That's much different. Prairie Dog, okay, you can obviously see some differences there. And then the size of the Eastern District is quite different. So,
What's the
What's the range, Mr. Chairman?
Please, Representative Summers.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. What are the range of deviations on this?
Mr. Chairman, for this particular plan,
For this plan in a 62, do we know what the deviations would be?
Mr. Chairman, I have not run the Senate's version through the 62 configuration, although this amendment is not very different from the House side, because in the House side, Story was already in House District 40. So I can run those, but I haven't not yet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Senator Kinski, or, excuse me, Mr. Co-Chairman?
So, Mr. Chairman, both sides wound up with amendments on the 6231 plan, which moved Arvada Claremont back into Sheridan County. Refresh my memory. I think that's correct. Is that right?
Yes, that is accurate.
So what we're talking about this morning is just a modification beyond pulling those two in.
Mr. Co-Chairman, to be clear, in our plan, 62, Sheridan Johnson being together, they're out of deviation. In the Senate plan, 6030, they're within deviation, the 4 districts. So there is a difference in that. Ours, it's in, but that puts us out of deviation. So just to be clear about the difference between the two positions. And
No.
Michael, would you pull up let's go with like the August 27th statewide 3 compilation. Or not August, January 27th statewide compilation number 3. You think what I was doing last night at 4 o'clock in the morning? Or this morning at 4?
I think I was up before you, Mr. Chairman.
Actually, this is a Scott. This isn't the committee one. This is a Scott. So what's the committee one, please, Michael?
Mr. Chairman, if you're looking for the committee's backup plan, that would be from February 11th.
Okay, I'm sorry, I got the wrong date. February 11th.
Although for Sheridan Johnson, it is the same in both plans.
It is the same. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to understand. Okay. Thank you. Story in, Prairie Dog out. And what the good Chairman Kinski is trying to flip that. The rural area in.
Yes,
and
sir.
Prairie Dog into Sheridan.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
I will say this, Mr. Chairman, notwithstanding the deviation, there's actually a lot of reasons that can go into the findings why this works. You know, it's just, everybody's got a part of an urban district, everybody's got part of a rural constituency. It becomes, with the one exception of Representative Kinner, everybody's got kind of a balanced constituency. And so it's pretty nice in that regard.
Okay, further discussion on this? Senator Kinski, do you still want to be able to visit with your clerk and before we take any action on this?
Yes, sir. Representative Kragos shared with me that he'd talked to her, and there's a concern that I've got to talk to her before I can go any further.
Okay, all right, thank you. Let's go to Natrona County. And yesterday, while our colleagues on the Senate were still on the floor, we just showed the maps, the 2 different versions to the audience, and this being the I think Landon one. Mr. Chairman, you go ahead.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This was an amendment by me, which was generated really in discussions with Senator Anderson. The pink area that you see there is Senator Anderson's, and the gray area is my district. It also, the gray is Representative McGuire, and the pink is Representative Gray. So on that west side over there, that funky piece that comes all the way down in between Senate District 27 and Senate District 28, just simply did not make any sense to me. So that's the genesis of that amendment. In order to pull those into Senate District 28, you have to gain some back for Senate District 27. And that's where we gain that back, is right down in what we call the Manor Heights neighborhood. The little grade school is right to the south of that little L-shaped unit. Kelly Walsh High School is right to the north of that unit. All of those families in that area of the world send their kids to Manor Heights School. It made sense to me. I checked with Representative McGuire. I believe he would tell you that he is completely on board with this. And obviously Senator Anderson is, because that's where it was generated in the first place. By the time I had visited with Representative McGuire, Representative Gray was already working the floor. And unfortunately, we have not sat down since that point. But that's the Landon Amendment. It made sense to me, and so we've been working on it. We came up with an alternative, which the clerks helped with. It's not a very good alternative. It just trades two little blocks of those same populations, and we still have the funkiness of that particular House district, which is 35. The little icon is on House District 35, Senate District 27. And so, not a very good fix for what I initially intended to do. So that's the two versions, Mr. Chairman.
So, Mr. Chairman, so Michael, what is in this version, what is the population in the two blocks at flop? Just approximately. Is it 300, 600, 900?
Mr. Chairman, it's about 300 to 325 or so.
Between the two? It's just a
swap.
Number pop, okay. And what is the population in the entire column, the 300 plus what's the rest of that column that would have been in the other map?
This column, I believe, is over 1,000 total.
Okay, all right. So 1,300 between the individual block and the rest of the column. All right, thank you.
You know, Mr. Chairman, one of the other drivers that we've noticed in our community is people really struggle to find out who's representing them. It's hard for them. And Senator Anderson, you know, in visiting with him, that particular finger that juts down in there and takes a turn westward and you know, those constituents there just kind of deserve to know. Many of them think that it is Senator Anderson's district, and honestly, it just makes sense. So at this time, I'll touch base with my clerk. I don't know that we need to make a motion at this point on this one either.
So Michael, could you show me the Senate pairings? Because quite honestly, I just concentrate on House seats. I don't,
Mr.
it's not that I
Chairman,
don't care, Senator, but I just don't pay attention to Senate nestings.
Mr. Chairman, 56 and 57, which are the two that I'm going between, would be Senate District 28. And then 36 and 35 would be Senate District 27. In this scenario, Senate District 27 would go almost all the way around House District 57.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Helpful. The rest of you may know that, but I did not. So
I'd be glad to answer any questions, Mr. Chairman, but that's the Casper situation.
all right. Chairman's want, is there anything we need to talk about in Laramie County, or we think that's fairly well settled? Or you're comfortable?
I believe, haven't heard any other feedback, talked to Senate colleagues a couple more times, sent maps, and we talked about it yesterday, didn't get any major feedback different than what I shared yesterday. So I think we're still good to go there as a delegation if we want to move that forward. After our 6th meeting, be happy to make that motion at the appropriate time.
All right. So we need a little more information out of Sheridan County, a little more discussion in Natrona County. What about put up the, I don't know, I guess maybe it's the Summers Amendment or Carbon Albany.
I have it. Mr. Chairman, I
Please.
will, sorry. I will note, I've received a feedback from the county clerks that they would suggest adjusting the boundary of this voting precinct from Bear Oil. In this particular amendment, it splits a ballot with 7 people, so they would like to, just to make that adjustment, should this amendment move forward.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
So, Mr. Chairman and Michael, I got that email, but I couldn't understand where it splits the ballot. Where's the 7 people at?
Mr. Chairman, my understanding is that the school district boundary is just within this upper northeast corner, and then there's 7 people scattered throughout the remainder of this precinct.
Right.
So this movement wasn't an entire voting precinct, but the school district boundary is just around Bear Oil.
Right, so the voting district is what they want put over there, correct?
They would like to move it back just to the school district boundary.
And so then my question is, where would those poor 7 people have to vote?
They would still be within the, in Sweetwater County, but they would be, I don't know if the county would adjust the precinct or not.
Yeah, where they vote is up to the county they live in. It doesn't have anything to do with
Right.
how our districts are drawn. So how many people are in Bear Oil minus the 7? How many are minus the 7?
Mr. Chairman, I believe the full precinct is about 75, and then the adjustment would reduce it down by 7. So it would be about 66, 67 people.
That's where we're at, Mr. Chairman. We're down to 7 at a time.
It's taken us all week to get down to that number.
Oh, we mean 6 months. Are you kidding? All right. So, Michael, actually, would you prepare or have that amendment or that representation of what that would do?
I do not have it right now. They
Okay,
wrote me
so
last night.
I think we should probably, from the clerk's perspective, that does make sense. That isolates 7 people, doesn't even make sense to me. But, so I think just out of
Chairman.
consensus, we just get that one.
If I may, so the answer is to do what with the good 7 voters of Bear Oil? What are we going to do with
Well,
them?
the
Keep
7,
them
the
anonymous?
Bear Oil is part of the school district in Carbon County. So we're just going to use the school district line instead of that voter precinct line, or that, not precinct line, but is it a precinct line? Yeah. So it'll shrink that area quite a bit.
Can you zoom in on that for me, please? I want to make sure I'm following.
So maybe, Mr. Chairman, Michael, if you could give us an indicator of where that precinct line, is the precinct line the big line all the way out and around? And
Mr.
then
Chairman.
The school district line would be where?
I don't have it on the digital map, but it's roughly just a small square around Bear Oil.
So we're going to do what?
Do the school district.
And Mr. Chairman, just a quick question. And Michael, was there any reason given? I mean, that's all closer to Rollins than it is to Wamsutter.
Mr. Chairman, it was just a request of the clerks. If
They didn't-
they're here if you wish to discuss it.
Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Co-Chair, you said we're going to do the school district line. Tell me what this motion is going to do. Show me when we're done what we're doing.
Mr.
We moving
Chairman,
some voters to a different precinct?
Mr. Chairman, my understanding is that roughly 67 or 68 voters population, pardon me, near Bear Oil, which would be within the school district boundary that go to Rollins, that would be contained in this amendment. The 7 people in the larger area of this precinct would go back into Sweetwater County and House District 47.
So we do have clerks here, so why don't we get Mr. Irvin up if he's one? Yeah, it's all the same Senate district. It's
Okay,
just the 7 people changing
gotcha.
one
Okay,
House
well,
district.
I'm good
Yeah.
then. I'm good.
Mr. Irvin, maybe explain to us the intricacies of precincts and those things, what's trying to be accomplished here, or what's being suggested here. Thank you.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Mr. Chairman. My name is Malcolm Irvin. I'm the president of the County Clerks Association. The change that's requested has nothing to do with precinct boundaries. It's just political subdivision boundaries. So Carbon County School District 1 is the northeast corner of Sweetwater County around Bear Oil. And the line that's drawn currently for House District 15 goes below, both to the south and to the west of the school district boundary. To the south of that school district boundary, there are 7 people. And so by having that area between the school district boundary and the boundary of House Districts 15 and 47, that creates a split ballot of just 7 people. So the only request would be to take the boundary of House District 15 and move it up to the Carbon County School District 1 boundary, which usually census blocks like to throw a wrench in that, and it doesn't work. In this instance, the school district boundary followed census blocks, so it's easy to do. And it would just reduce a split, and there's going to be precinct work for all of us after this, and Sweetwater County will be no different. And but this actually gives them a chance to clean up some of their precinct boundaries as well. And so, Mr. Chairman, all that, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Sweetwater County Clerk, just because I live an hour away. And so it's just a simple move to move that boundary from the highway up to the school district boundary. And that way you're keeping those 7 people with more people, so you can't identify how they voted potentially. And
Thank you.
If I had the ability to share my map, I'd love to show you.
So if there's no objection, we just, Michael, would you actually get that mapped in so we have representation and go ahead and.
And Mr. Chairman, just.
Please.
I'm like you. I just to be safe, I want to run it past my senator like you want to run it past your 2 House guys. I want to make sure they have a chance to.
Oh, I'm not going to run it past them, not for 7 people. Come on. Those are important 7 people. No, I think what we're trying to do is clean up. I think, yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's just protocol.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. No, let's understand where we are.
And I'm not sure we have support for this map anyway.
Yeah, so let's go to the eastern border of Carbon County. So this is the Robbins, what's the voting district or the precinct district?
Mr. Chairman, I believe it's Don Robbins' home.
Okay, and what is the population there?
49.
49? Well, that's a square,
Mr.
7
Chairman,
squared.
Those 49 people, you're talking about that purple chunk
In Albany County.
in Albany County.
Yep.
Okay, just to make sure everybody knows that's what we're talking.
And what's the deviation in the purple chunk, for lack of a better known?
Mr. Chairman, this purple district, this larger one, is House District 47, and it's at minus 2.34%.
Minus
The blue piece is House District 14, and it's at minus 0.8% in this amendment.
0.8.
Correct.
Okay,
Mr.
thank you.
Chairman, for my benefit, can we get him to back out a little bit? I'm not quite sure where Albany County is and where Carbon County is.
Oops,
There you
pardon me. There would be a red line here if this were, if it was showing the county boundary. However, this is a current engrossed version boundary, so it covers the county line, which is right here.
Okay, and so, Mr. Chairman, where's Robbins Ranch and where's Rock River?
Mr. Chairman, what I'm circling right now is Don Robbins' home,
Okay.
and then Rock River is the voting precinct just below it, which is right here.
Okay, and I can't see that far, but it looks like Rock River goes right up to the city limits of Laramie. Is that right?
Pardon me, I didn't hear the question.
Does it, I can't see, but does Rock River go right up to the city limits of Laramie, or is it outside of Laramie?
Mr. Chairman, it stays outside. It's roughly just south of Rock River. That's where it ends.
Okay,
And 49 in the upper one, what's the Rock River 2 something,
242.
242, thank you. Right,
Mr. Chairman,
please.
finish it out, and then what is the Rollins deviation? So very similar to the 47, I think.
Correct, Mr. Chairman. The House District 15 for Rollins is minus 2.21%.
Please.
So Michael, in the purple area, and I'm sorry, I don't know that house district. If we pull Robbins' home over into the purple, it does include, it does improve that minus 0.2 something I thought I heard you say. And the portion in blue, the house district in blue, has a better variation. It's a little closer to 0, I thought I heard you say. Can you repeat those two for me? Just
Mr. Chairman, the purple district is House District 47. In this particular amendment, it would be at minus 2.34%. And by taking in 49 people, that increases by about 0.5%. The blue district, which is House District 14 in Albany County, is at minus 0.8%. And that obviously has gone down about 0.5% because it's shedding these 49 people.
Mr. Chairman,
Please.
Michael, show me which Senate district is purple,
Mr. Chairman, that would be Senate District 11.
and that's Senator Hicks.
Correct.
And so could you show me right now that senator represents,
Pardon me.
does that senator have now Rock River and Robbins Home Ranch?
Mr. Chairman, Senate District 11 does include Rock River at the current time, but does not include Don Robbins' home.
Huh. Okay.
Further questions? I think we've got through all of it. So could we, so I'm going to make a suggestion that we ask LSO to actually draft the Laramie County amendment.
Fair
Have
enough.
that drafted
Fair enough.
for the bill. Is there any objection to that? I don't think, we're not having a discussion about it.
I think
so
we're good.
we'd have that one drafted. I think we'd like to see a representation of the Bear Oil School District line. I don't know that it changes anybody's mind about that issue. It's either in or it's not. It's in the same Senate district. It don't matter.
But you're
Go
talking
ahead
about
and
draft.
that.
Okay, well,
M-
let's,
okay to draft
Mr. Co-Chair, I believe we're okay to draft it, just as a matter of protocol. It doesn't change the Senate district at all. I just, as a protocol, I'm going to give my senator a heads up. But yeah, I think you can draft it.
draft that one.
Okay.
So we're down to the Albany share on this one. If we do that, the Albany share, what's the pleasure here? You want to go back and visit about it some more?
Well, Mr. Co-Chair,
Well, Mr. Chairman, we've got support on the Senate side for what you're looking at right there. That was a little bit of a compromise this week. You might remember early in the week, the Senate suggested that take in Rock River and Robbins Home. That's been reduced down to simply take in the Robbins Home piece. I have no doubt that I've got pretty good support on the Senate side for that particular map. So
I did not realize that we were taking Rock River away from Senate District 11. I didn't know that was a concession that was on the table. It's not in my mind.
Maybe there needs to be more discussion, because I think on the House side, at least I feel that the Albany County line is the line. And I'm not that amenable to any of that sharing across that line. So if you're not sure what you want to share, and I'm not sure that we're interested in sharing.
And Mr.
more
Co-Chair,
to talk about.
I'm confused why we would want to take a district away from a senator that he's represented for the last 10 years.
Well, I'll let Chairman Zwanitzer.
Thank you. It's because Albany County for 6 months has come to every meeting and demanded to be whole. They qualify for 4 House districts almost perfectly in a 62 plan. And one of our guiding principles has been to not cross county boundaries unnecessarily. And the map in front of me, it doesn't change, doesn't put anybody at a deviation to add 41 people who aren't historic to that district. So if the Senate has a compelling reason, maybe they can bring that back.
Well,
But
Mr. Chairman, I'll
that's the
talk to
reason.
the senator from that county and see if he's amenable to this or not.
it sounds like, Mr. Co-Chairman, that we need to take that back and talk it over.
Okay, so we have 3 areas that we're going to continue to visit about. This, Natrona County, and Sheridan. And I think they're both of them are, at least one is clerks, got to get away in from clerks. Okay, all right. Chairman Zwanitzer.
Thanks. I believe we still have 5 very minor edits outstanding for the clerks. I don't know if we could just.
Yeah,
ask
let's
those to be
actually take
incorporated.
those if they're not included in the Laramie County thing, if there's other things. Mr. Irvin, if you want to bring those forth, and let's, and if you're going to create a split, You're out of here.
Mr. Chairman, we're going to help reduce that. Again, Malcolm Irvin County Clerks Association. I'll start in Campbell County. One of the requests was a very minor, and actually it was a zero population move, and so it really affects nothing except in the event that a home is built, or if a voter looks to map and thinks, why is there this weird jog? Can't really explain it. So instead of following the frontage road, it would just move to follow South Gurley. And so that change has been reflected. The pink line was part of that yellow house district, just asking that it be moved over. So that district all follows the South Gurley as opposed to the frontage road.
So is there any objection? Make it so, Michael. I feel like I'm in Star Trek. Make it so.
And then in Goshen County, Mr. Chairman, I think the Weston change has been reflected already.
Correct, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank
There,
you.
this follows the
Existing House
existing
District
line.
1-2 line? Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
Is this a technical correction that affects that area? Is this going to be in the bill?
Mr. Chairman, these were corrections that were submitted by the clerks for the 62 plan. The one that Mr. Irvin is going over now was actually adopted on the Senate side Committee of the Whole for Goshen County to
Okay,
correct this
I
area.
think, yeah, this was
Fair
a
enough.
a Senate request
fair enough.
in the Committee of the Whole.
Good. Fair enough.
So we're, go ahead, Mr. Irvin.
So the area in Goshen County, north of Fort Laramie, it moves House District 2's boundary to the west. There's a handful of people there who were adamant that they'd really like the opportunity to vote in JM and not have to drive all the way to Fort Laramie. And so it was a minor change. It's going to be some precinct cleanup work that will actually really help the Goshen County clerk, and it really was a handful of people, and it was just to make sure their polling place could be closer.
We could send them to Barrow Hill.
Mr. Chairman, I think they would love that drive.
All right, Mr. Cameron, did you have something?
Mr. Co-Chairman, don't let it be said that we don't believe in helping people to vote. I would think that we could move that in.
And Mr. Chairman,
Please.
I should have started by saying thank you for this opportunity. The level of detail that we're going into here is incredibly minute. I mean, we're talking 7 people. We're talking about shifting a boundary, a block, in order that affects nobody. These are very small changes, and I can't tell you how much we appreciate that opportunity to do that, because we're going to be stuck with this for 10 years, and we want to make sure that it's in the best shape we can possibly make it. And Mr. Chairman, I think that
Okay,
This
thank
is
you. Is there
getting
any
us-
other changes in this one? Just that Fort Laramie piece, right? Is that
Mr.
accurate?
Chair.
And then way down in the corner there, that's a little block there next to the,
I'm going to tell Sherry to go look
And then,
at it.
Mr. Chairman, that, it was just a small change in House District 5 in order to follow a conservation district boundary. And so
perfect.
it was an opportunity to clean it just a little bit. And then a county pocket next to the city of Torrington.
correct.
Okay, thank you very much. And Senator Kinski, you'll verify with the
Yeah.
senator out of that county that
And so, Mr. Chairman,
Please.
just what I'm trying to do is make sure that when the bill hits the floor and everybody's seen so many plans, their heads spin, and then I get a senator going, wait, what's this? I want to make sure that they know they're going to see that in the bill.
All right, next, Mr. Irvin.
Mr.
Make that one so too as well, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'll skip Laramie County, that one changes. And in Albany County, I believe those are not affected by any of the proposed amendments. Again, really fine detail in Albany County, just to make sure that a small piece of the city of Laramie is included in that green district, and then another one at the I-80 boundary on the southern portion of Laramie, just to make sure that those small areas are within, so the municipality boundaries are followed as best as possible. So again, very minute.
So there's 3 there, 1, 2, I see a third one over there. maybe.
There's, Mr. Chairman, there's one right over here on the very bottom right.
Okay.
I mean, we are talking small ones at this point, but
Thank you. Mr. Co-Chair.
then in Rock Springs, Sweetwater County, Rock Springs, the House District 39 split that rectangle, and that rectangle actually is the municipal boundary of Rock Springs. So again, just trying to get House District 39 to incorporate that chunk of Rock Springs, which actually had 0 population, but has the potential for development in the next 10 years. And so to avoid some issue down the road, just a simple ask to move that House District 39 to follow that municipal boundary, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman,
Please.
is that Senator Kolb's area?
I'm not sure, Mr. Chairman.
This would be between
Senator
Senator James and Senator Baldwin.
Okay, Senators Baldwin and James, thank you.
Okay, next.
Mr. Chairman, I believe that is it that's not impacted by any of the proposed amendments. There was one in Sheridan County, but I think that'll be affected by
We still got things to do there.
requested
so.
amendments, and then Laramie County, and those were the only other. But
So if there's no objection from committee, we'll go ahead and work those into the plan and make those adjustments so that we have a continue to improve.
thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Co-chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Irvin. Anything else for Mr. Irvin?
Mr. Co-Chair,
Yes, sir.
just a heads up. So Michael, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell 4 senators that if they have any concerns at all, that they're going to see a call out in the bill and that they should see you, and that we're assured they're technical. If they have any concerns, they should go up and see you for an explanation, because I don't want them jumping up on the floor going, whoa, 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 okay?
Thank you.
So 4 senators will be coming to see you, maybe. Thanks, Michael. Thank you, Mr. Co-Chair.
Mr. Chairman,
Book of time. Yes, sir.
I'd really like to speak highly of what the clerks have done all across the state. It's just phenomenal, the work they put into this, and
Yep.
I'd really like to thank them for the work they did.
We do appreciate it, and some of them are still working. Right, Senator?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senators?
There's 22 good clerks, and then they have me, so
Yeah.
We
And
appreciate
they made
your
you
willingness to
president.
work with
Go
us.
figure. Very good. Thank you. Maybe, gentlemen, what do we want to talk about findings? We had a Senate position on findings. The House did not have a position on findings. My assumption is we are staying out of deviation, or we're going to be outside of deviation, the 10%. And so is there still an interest in pursuing or continuing with the findings? I think you have that position, and I think we're willing to go to that position. So how do you want to proceed with that, Mr. Co-Chairman?
Mr. Co-Chairman, I think we would like to have your consideration on that. We adopted those findings. Senator Kinski worked hard on that at the direction and support of our staff, our legal staff. And there was some sense that that might prove helpful if we're slightly out of deviation, particularly up north. That at this point, it looks like our map is in deviation except for Sheridan County. If we were to agree on everything that's been talked about today or whatever we end up doing, they're all going to be in deviation except for Sheridan County. So that was the concern Senator Kinski had. And Senator, would you be willing to take it from there, and any further thoughts you have on that?
Mr. Co-Chairs, myself and Representative Crago Representative Crago took my findings, gave some additional input and direction to staff. They sent a draft out to both of us. I've provided them some additional input as to the things that I think it'd be helpful to go in there, and I just added a couple more, like how impossible this is when you're getting down to districts where you may know how the voter voted, you know, and so we will have that. Barry, let's commit to get that done by noon. Does that sound good?
And so Director Obrecht also, and Josh probably has access. So maybe what we'd like to do is your version, the version that Director Obrecht, the Senate position. I mean, sounds like there's 3 positions out there. Maybe we have them all, or maybe there's just only 2.
We're
Maybe
just
there's
down
2.
to 1. We're just wordsmithing 1 at this point.
Okay, all right. And I was not aware of that. So let's bring that forward or email it to the committee, or can we also put it on the, on that map site too? So we know for that, so it's just part of the maps, it'll be that discussion. Mr. Co-Chairman.
Mr. Co-Chairman, just for clarification, Josh, have you been working with the senator and the representative on that? Or?
Mr. Co-Chair, it's Matt Obrecht and Ian.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
But we're amenable to having it posted so that people know what we know what we're working on, everybody else can too.
Once I see the craftsmanship of Representative Crago and putting the final polish on it, I think it'll be a fine piece of work for posting.
I'm confident it will be. The House is always doing good work. All right, Anything else for the good of the order? So try to come back together, sounds like noon for that. Clerks, 1 o'clock?
Sounds great.
I think that's
1 o'clock? All right. And by that time, Michael, you will hopefully have, or you'll be able to put in anything that we've already talked about, have the Bear Oil map, and then hopefully by that time, you also have maps from or other suggestions that may come from particularly Sheridan, Johnson County. All right, thank you very much. So 1 o'clock, sounds